Come on. Yeah. Ah, it's still showing Wandering Vaper. Go figure. I'm not the Wandering Vaper! Oh crap. Almost forgot to mute the sound. Well, don't know really what to go over tonight. Of course, I'm unprepared like always. But, you know, Batman was kind of right, but he wasn't in a way. Because if you would watch, interaction's 90% of what we're used to. It's kind of hard to go from one thing to another. But we gotta get used to it. I'm gonna do my channel type of thing, like hello YouTubers, shit like that, but I'll try to make it a little more interesting. You know, I'm so used to having music in the background and everything else, can't do that here. But we can sort of keep the talking going, even if there is no viewers at the moment. Like me, I'm doing old school today. Mini did clone M16 or aluminum M16 from Fast Tech. Join this setup for right now. And yeah, I know it's a little bit late. I did a couple things for my sister. She got a couple of new tugboat clones. So I had to line the 510s up for her. That way the holes be lined up properly with their box mods. And before I knew it, I looked at the clock and it was 8:14. So quickly got all my shit open and start broadcasting. Now I do have other setups now for the weekend and everything else, but a little bit of a pain in the butt. Monkeying around with this mod today. Redid the negative on it. Made it hit a lot better. Don't think there's enough juice in there to vape it, but it's a semi-dry hit, but works pretty good now. Monkeying around with this thing for the whole day. Of course, the fractured jaw. Everybody knows the story behind this. But the original sled I had in the fractured jaw, pulled it out. I got one, rigged up a negative on it and a positive contact where the negative will work. Can't hold 18650s, but it will hold an 18500 with a little spacer I made for 18500s and stuff a long time ago, just like so. I can't remember. Oh yeah, because I had just a regular 18650 battery holder and not a spring-loaded battery holder on my RC car battery charger at the time. Of course, you are going to hear the drum roll a little bit. Because there's some rust on my little spacer. Because I haven't used this thing in a long time. There's rust on it and everything else. Polish it up, make it look good, nice and clean on both sides. So now when I put the battery in, put my little spacer in, you can use it to power like old CPU fans. Just take it, or use it to power, make a little, because I do have a flashlight that no longer has a body. Use this, cut it down to one side, and use it for that, make a flashlight out of it. But it is usable for something. Just got to figure out what that I want to use an 18500 with. And that tank's empty. Son of a bitch. Okay, go to my last full tank. Really enjoying the fractured jaw after it's been redone. Where's the original 510 to this damn thing? It's around here somewhere. Should be on this side. There it is. Or here's the original Fat Daddy 510 that was in it. The reason why I pulled it, it needed cleaned real bad. And it wasn't firing properly. So what I had to do, got a new insulator for it. Need it cleaned, and I'll show you basically what was happening. This little piece here, that's your positive contact, goes down through this little ring. Well, when you push down, it'd stick down and wouldn't release back up. And the reason why is the original insulator of this was bad, and I pinched it down to where it would clamp onto the insulator. But when I did that, it threw the hole that pin went in out around and caused it to snag. So every time I used this, if I changed anything on it, I would have to open the mod up, push up on the center post, and get it to where it would fire on the next device. It was kind of a pain in the ass, but I made do with what I had at the time. And now that I have a new 510 in it, I fixed this one where it works properly and has enough room. If I do oblong the hole again, it's not going to catch up the center pin, cause it to stick. Now, done a lot of stuff, monkeying around with different mods lately. What I was talking about, adjusting the 510 to the tanks that we use. We like using our mods a certain way. Like I fire with my thumb. Oh, I'll fill this tank back up. But I like to fire with my thumb on regular dual parallel 18650 mods. So I'm gonna fill this tank up with what's left of the juice I have. All left of this juice. I don't know if they'll take it all or not. But we're gonna fill her up. I think it's gonna fill up before I ran out and that's it in there. But what I mean by that, like with me with the Genesis, you have to worry about where you hold your wick. And my wick is right here. It's in line with my butt. Now, it's adjustable. With a pair of needles, pliers, you grab a hold of the nut that holds your 510 in place, you loosen it up. So now your 510 spins and you can adjust wherever you want. However you want it, wherever you want it, how. But I like on these to have my 510 in line with the button. So I grab a hold of that. And sometimes the pliers don't like grabbing them the way you want. And you gotta fiddle around with it. Sometimes you pinch your hand in the pliers, but it's tight again. Put the cover back on. Top cap back on. It's not perfectly aligned, but it's pretty close to where I like it. And this thing hits pretty damn good. Done a lot of modifications to this one. This is the acrylic mod. I'm gonna pull my batteries out to show you the modifications I've done to this. Originally, I have one of the positive posts right here that was original with it. I know a lot about it, but the original positive post, we're going to look at it real quick. But first, let's get this thing in, at least on the nut that it comes with. The way this originally came is instead of having them kind of contacts like fractured jaw and everything, it had these little things with a nut on the back. And that's basically what I'm using on the old sled out of the fractured jaw for the positive, is one of the pins from it originally. And you had the hole in it like that. Well, I got rid of them and used the old positive contacts that weren't bad out of my fractured jaw and put them in here. So that has been modified. Also on the negative side, there used to be a screw that held the wire on through a little eyelet. Let's see if I can find the original wire to this damn thing. I know it's over here somewhere in this mess of stuff. And I got a whole bunch of tools sitting on my desk. A whole bunch of tools. Ah, there it is. Damn it. This is the original ground wire to that. Had this little eyelet that the screw that holds the bottom end would be held in by that screw against the negative plate. Well, that's a contact of failure in my books, so when I put the new heavier gauge wire in, I soldered it directly to that. Plus, I put, 3034 MOSFET in there and everything else. But with the positive contacts, the original ones, I was catching my batteries on the top, like this one here. And I had to reheat that to get that shrunk down because it was so pulled up. It was tearing my tops of my batteries up. Like this one here, you could see a little bit, but not much. And that was a pain in the butt. Every time you had to pull the battery out, you had to pull it out a certain way. The way I did it was put my thumb over the positive and just pull it out like that. Well, when I put these in, I basically had the same issue. It was catching the top because there was a little bit of a lip right there, which I had to pull them back out and bend that in just a little bit to get rid of the lip. So now I can just put my batteries in and pull them out positive first like I'm used to. But that was the main modifications I did to this was 3034 MOSFET with changing out the wiring to heavier wiring because the wiring in these are actually on the wire. Oh, where did I put that black wire? There it is. Actually on the wire that it comes with it says 16 amp wire. Well, I know I'm going to have a hard time seeing this because I always do, but I don't know if it has the gauge wire on there. But it does say 16 amps on the wire. And I don't see, it's all in Chinese, so I can't see the gauge. So I don't know what the gauge of it is, but they do say it's 16 amp wire. Well, I know the wiring I used in it. Let's see if I can find the amperage on it, because I know there's an amperage on this wire too. We're going to look. (14 gauge SAE CU. It's a 1927 strand, 30 amp wire. It's PVC coated. It's got a 40 degrees Celsius heat limit, but that's the wire I used on it, 30 amp wire. So, yeah, way better than the 16 amp it came with. And if you notice, I got to read further away from me. I can't see this shit when it's this close no more. It's like, even with the flashlight, it's a blur. Go figure. I need reading glasses. At least for, up close, which is where you mostly have your stuff when you're building it. It's hard to see when you're picking at coil because of a hot spot when it's far away. But having Fat Daddy 510 as an extra 510, I really enjoy that part. But when you screw a device down, I'll try to hold it where you can see that pin's starting to stick out. But when you unscrew it, you see how the pin starts going in. It quit doing that because I crimped it and oblong the hole that was in. But all it took was a 1/8 drill bit to open that back up to where it will not snag anymore. So basically I have an extra 510. I have a button. I don't remember if this button works or not. So I got to check it. One of these days I'll actually check this button, see if it works or not. If that works, then I got a extra 3034 MOSFET and resistor. Right there's the MOSFET. So if I ever want to build another mod, if that button works, all I need is a box. And if I do that, hello, bigger box. Now this is my 3 cell. LiPo, but I have a 2-cell right here that I use as a flashlight. I just connect this wire, and that's a bright ass flashlight. And if you can see, 14.1 volts going to that bulb. This is one of them 12-volt interior light bulbs. But yeah, I use that. That's my flashlight. So I may end up taking this battery and using it as mod battery again. I still have pics of the mod that I had them both of them batteries in at one point in time. Now let's get it up here on screen for you guys. Add media file. See if I can find that picture. No, wrong. Back. It'll be under here. It'll be under mods. Of course, picture I have that has it in it is right there. It's the mod to the far left. That mod, actually, yeah, it should be to the far left. But it's next to the VMAX. If you don't know how big of a VMAX is, then it's about the size of a regular, tube mod. A single 18650 tube mod. That's what the VMAX was. It held two 18350s. It's stacked batteries basically, but that's the VMAX with a mini VV Nova sitting on top. Was almost the same size as that mod. I used the heck out of that mod, and as you can see, there's an old flashlight there too that was I had as a mod. I built that mod too. I still have that flashlight tube around here somewhere. Don't know where, but I know it's around here. But my very first mod I started using is the one on the far right. That's my very first mod. And then the parallel one I had that Batman had at one time was, I think, the third mod I ever made. But it had 14500s in parallel. You had the 14500 single, then the red one was the 18500. The one next to that was a 18650 or 26650. I only ran 18650s in it, but it was capable of a 26650 in it. Then my red Ego Twist, then my green Joytech Ego Twist, and then another one that I threw together that had three 650 milliamp Ego batteries in it. And then my VMAX, and then the one I called the I can't remember. Oh, the Monster. That's what I called that one, the Monster. It was so damn big. And in the background, you could see my old camera, which I no longer have. You could see my drill bit set that I no longer have. My that little syringe back there had that big old white thing on it. That's why I used to clean my cardos back then. I no longer use. The power supply that's right next to the camera back there with black tape sitting on it and nicotine. I use that to power my battery charger I use now. So a lot of this stuff, the only thing I have out of that picture is the tank that's on the red twist, Ego Twist battery. And I don't know, yeah, I got the mini, the one that's on the Joytech Twist, which is the green one. That's a mini Hanger T3. I still have that around too. looking over here to see what I still have around. I still have the red tank, the tank, the one that's on the box mod that I built to do 26 650s or 18 650s. I no longer have that one, but I have the identical thing. That one there, I piffed away to somebody else that was in need of vape release. The flashlight mod, that's a Cobra clone on that. And I do believe my sister has, my sister has that Cobra. The single 14500, that was what was the original Phoenix rebuildable dripper. It's hard to tell if they're Kanger T3s or Kanger T2s, because I used both of them back then, but they all look like Kanger T3s, all except for the VV Nova. Well, I have a mini VV Nova, but I think that one there was the Smoke Tech mini VV Nova. I have quite a few different tanks I had back then, but I could tell you just about everything in this picture, vaping wise. So with that being said, I have made a lot of mods. You gotta figure, just in that picture, I had 4 that I made. I know I have pictures with others that I've made over the times. Let's see if I can find any more. What's on this one? Yeah, that's when I had my own background I made myself. Did a real quick one. If you look, I still have the VMAX. I have DNA. That was a DNA 20. K100. Trying to look at them all. There's K100 there. I still had the Red Ego Twist. Then you had Smoke Tech Telescope. Next to that was the Camry KTS Plus. Then a Genesis Hybrid. And next to that was the Bogla clone. And if you look, you can see all kinds of tanks. Now, I'll tell you the tanks are on each and every one of these, tanks and drippers, because I have drippers on some of them too. On the VMAX, which has a wrap on it, has a iClear 16. The DNA 20 had the BT804 Dream Tank on it. Tank I still have in my hands. The K100 had the Phoenix version 16. And then the Ego Twist had the original Phoenix dripper. The Smoke Tech Telescope, that is the mini did clone. The KTS Plus Cobra clone. And of course the hybrid that is part of the mod. Then another Cobra clone. Tanks that are along the front of the mods from the left is a Cobra clone. Kanger T2, Mini T3, T3S, VV Nova, iClear 30, Mini VV Nova, and a Cardo tank, and you see my batteries. Now the DNA 20 I made myself. That was an old LiPo battery case that the battery went bad. I still have the battery around. One of the cells is still good, one is bad. But still have all that around. Well, tanks I no longer have around. Don't have the mods. The only tank I have left out of all that is my BT804. See any other mods, because that was my DNA 20. I know I made more mods. I just don't know if I took pictures of them all. Oh, yeah, there's the picture of the one with the parallel 14500, which is next to the boggle on the right. The only thing I have out of this is, again, the BT804. I gave everything away or traded everything. If you notice, I have 3 Cobra clones and a Mini Dig clone in this picture. I was a very advocate about the Cobra clones back then. Now, once I got into other Genesis atomizers, I came to find out they weren't as good as I originally thought they were. But if you notice, I'm a big Genesis tank. I mean, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Genesis there, 2 drippers, and 2 regular tanks, or 3. I had all kinds of tanks over the years, but I ended up liking the Genesis atomizers. Oh, here's the inside of a mod that I made for somebody else. That was him firing it and showing pictures of it. I made a couple of single 14500s for other people too. Looking through, seeing if there's any other mods that I built that this is the reason why I got rid of that mod, the what I called the monster. Here's a lot of my mods when I first started with building them. Keep grabbing the wrong screen region. There we go. If you notice here, the monster has you know vapor, live vape team sticker on it. The parallel 14500 is the third one from the right. Back then, I mostly built my own. If you notice, I have 4 boxes. And they were all being used. The VV Nova worked magnificent on the monster I called. Well, what I called the monster back then. But all these devices got used. Every one of them. Pain in the ass was charging the really wide one that was short, like the 14500. That had a that was a 4AA battery box, and it had 3 batteries in it. And that was my longest lasting, other than the monster. If I put a 1.2 ohm coil on that one, it would run me about a day and a half. Each and every one of them things was a okay mod. The one I designed for 18650 or 26650, which is over by what I called the monster. That one there, I never really used a lot. I did use it, but not as much as you would think I would. The mod that I used the most out here was when I was at home, I used the monster. And when I was out, I used my parallel 14500, and I carried that and my VMAX. God, I wish my desk was still that clean. I got so many tools sitting on it now for working on Genesis tanks. But you gotta figure, there's 5 box mods right there. And I built the joke, well, the one I call the joke. You know, that big ass, well, that mod's still small compared to the monster. The monster was an inch taller, 2 inches wider, and the same depth as the joke. And that was variable voltage mod there. All the others were just 4.2 volt fully charged, but the only variable voltage I had was the monster. It did what it needed to do. But my very first one is the one that has the red button on it. Not the monster, but the little 14500. I think that was my first one. The other one I have in pictures was my second one. Because I built them different every time. But I used the same buttons on all my stuff back then, which was Radio Shack. You got 4 of them for, like $3.50. You got 4 buttons. And that's what I used in a lot of my mods. They're very reliable with amperage being pulled through them if you weren't going above their amperage. They're 3 amp switches, buttons, and I know I pulled more than 3 amps out of them, but they never failed on me. I did have one of them fail. You know what? Now I'm thinking about it. It might be the one I have sitting right there. I think that one's the one that failed. That's when I first built the joke and I didn't have a MOSFET, so I started using, through the button end, and it was like, well, if I tear up the button, oh well, I'll use another button. But I do believe that's the button that failed. But I do want to check that before I say it's the button that failed. What we'll do, drop this pick. We're going to hook my little homemade 18500 battery holder up here. I can't put an 18650 in it because the 18650 pushes too much and pushes the homemade back on it that I have on it off. So I just use the 18500 with the spacer, which works perfectly fine. We're going to hook this up, get power to this little 5-volt fan. And try to test that button out. Okay, we know we got power. Where's that button? We're going to see if this button works or not. Nope, that's the button that failed. Or was it? I just noticed my negative contact is off. Nope, that's the button. No, it ain't. What's up, BZ? Talking a lot of crap tonight. when you watch the replay, you'll see me going through all the stuff I built. Just checking this button I found on my floor the other day, see if it worked or not. And it still works. So I may be building another mod. Why do I need a control board when I have what I have in this box? A little black thing in there. I got a 3034 MOSFET. Oh, you're talking about the hard drive. Is it? What size is it? Yeah. Is it 0.35 or 0.25 or whatever they are? I have a control board here. It doesn't matter if it's 4 terabytes or not. Control boards work for each other. So you need a control board for something like this. Wait a minute, got 2 more over here. I got all these hard drives. Hell, Western Digital, Seagate, Hitachi, but I got 3 Western Digitals over there. I think 3 Western Digitals. I don't know what my 300 gig is. Yeah, they're Western Digital. What are you oh about? I'll think about that later. That's right, we're mods. We're only ones that can post stuff. Now let's see. Gonna try to listen. Oh man, I gotta have sound on over here. Damn, I forgot how loud my speakers were. Oh, I can do that. That's cool. Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta adjust it. That should be better. Hey, I actually have music I can listen to. That means I'm gonna actually have background music on my show. Woo! But yeah, I was showing a lot of stuff I built over the time that I built mods. Some of the mods I'm like, why the fuck did I build that one? The biggest one is the biggest what the fuck moment is, I'm gonna find that picture again, just to show you. That was a good mod there. Ah, here it is. The biggest what the fuck moment is the fourth one from the right. That thing's so wild. That was a 4 AA battery box. And the one on the far left, that one is the one I call the monster. I got a picture of the inside of that somewhere. That thing's bigger than my damn head. But I still love using it. I should have a picture of that thing right up next to my head. Somewhere I have that picture. I gotta find it. No, I do believe I have that one on Facebook. I'm gonna go over to my Facebook real quick. Take a quick look. I think I have that picture on Facebook. Where the damn thing is as big as my head, which I'll have to do a screen read from that. See, how many frames have I dropped messing around? Not many. Really? Where is my pictures from back in the day? They got rid of them? No. My webcam photos. There it is. Holy shit. I remember it being bigger in my head, but good lord, this thing is huge. That is one big ass mod. There you go. And that one there had a MOSFET in it, but it was a Mad Vapes board that had like a little 3-amp MOSFET. It wasn't that big, but yeah, I remember that thing. That was one big ass mod. You guys always everybody messes with me about this one damn big. This one, not as big. But yeah, I do miss having that mod, but I am going to build another one. Because I still use the battery, but I use it as a flashlight. And this is one of them interior home 12-volt bulbs. I made a flashlight of it. And got 14.1 volts going to it, I think. And my battery's dead. Yeah, 14.1 volts going into it. So, you know what, BZ? I don't need car batteries. I have these booster boards. That's where I get my 12 volts from. So, fuck you! No, but this is a nice little homemade flashlight. It lights up a whole entire area like it's. I love having that little halogen bulb, but it's bright as fuck. Battery's dead, but still works. Matter of fact, I gotta resolder the charging cable for that. Alright, here's the charging cable for it. Did I? I thought one of the wires just broke off this. I must have repaired it already. Yep, I repaired that fucker already and don't remember doing it. Go figure. So I'm gonna fucking put this battery on charge. This is what the charger I use is designed for, is charging these batteries. That way I can balance charge. But I modified a old spring-loaded charger, one of these old pieces of crap, to work on it. So all I gotta do is plug that up and get that bitch charging. Good lord. I want to use balance charge. Okay. I have a feeling that my booster board is showing inaccurate reading on the battery input. Actually, no, I think I got a cell going bad in that battery. Either that or it's just bad reading from the. No, I got a cell going bad. What's what about? What do you think it's about? Talk about vape. Ponies? Who's talking about ponies, damn it? I don't see no Tony. I see a big man down. Oh, what's up, Drip? Why does everybody always come in late? That's the funny part. My show's like almost, over an hour past its start time, and that's when everybody starts coming in. And I talked about a lot of stuff at the beginning of my show, and you missed it all. But yeah, yeah. I'm gonna show Rip my very first big ass box mod. I have it on my Facebook, but that's a big ass mod. I do miss having that one around. It just didn't have the amperage. If you notice, I use paper towels for a spacer. Ah, the things I did to, that was the second mod I ever built. I used a little bit on top to keep the battery from moving around, and then the other one on the bottom to keep the battery from sliding around. That was the only thing I had on hand at the time. But yeah, I miss that mod. I'd probably convert it into a MOSFET mod, run point 0.2 on that bitch. Actually, I'd probably run point 0.5 on it with this battery in it. That's 12.6 volts fully charged, 100 amp capability. Ah, you'd probably use a milk cart. I just grabbed what was easier. Not only that, if I had a spillage of juice on the mod, I could pull the paper towel out, clean it up, throw that paper towel away, put a new one in. It really helped for that too. When you put a leaking tank on it, it's 5,000 milliamps, 100 amp. I got battery on the charger right now. It's 8.4, and it's 5,000 milliamp, 200 amp. That's the battery I use as a flashlight now. Yeah, the only reason why I have it around, I got to get a new motor for mine. It's up here somewhere, underneath all this pile of crap. Don't have the body on it, but that's it right there. I've had this bad boy here up to 75 mile an hour. But I burned the motor up and it's been sitting since. I've had that thing around for the last 4 years with no motor. Vaping took priority over my RC cars, so I still use the charger to charge my batteries. And I still use the batteries occasionally. You know, this one here being 12.6 volts, I can power anything a car can power. No, I didn't get it cut. I've had the same haircut for going on 2 weeks now. Ah, ha, ha. Real funny. But yeah, I got like this little 5 volt fan. Found out a little 18500 can power this thing pretty good. So I might figure some way. Of course, I'm dropping shit. To put this where it's into my hat like that, where it blows right on my forehead, and have a little 18500 on it. So that way, while I'm walking around, I have a fan blowing directly on my forehead. But trying to figure a way to attach a 18500 on this without being so dramatically noticeable. Because if you put it in there, and you put the hat on, you know what? You could see the bump from it, but yeah, that just doesn't look right. Maybe if it was in the back or something, or maybe if I found a way to hold it in there like that, put a little switch, have the battery back there. I come up with shit like that all the time, Drip. I mean, they have the ones with the big fan on them, well, with the fan that, goes through the bill and it blows on your face. But you gotta figure, this thing's small, discreet, and when it's up there, well, other than the wiring, you barely see that. Other than them couple wires. And that's blowing directly on your forehead to keep you cool. That's enough because it pulls the air through here, not through anywhere else. So you got that thing blowing on your forehead. I've already messed around with it, like without without it on the hat or anything. I'm going like this in the day, going, oh man. I mean, with the wind that this thing puts out, it's pretty awesome. And that would be perfect for in the day here in Florida. When you're outside taking a walk, you have that thing blowing on your face. Well, actually, it'd be blowing on your forehead, so you wouldn't be sweating as much. This thing came out of an old smoker's computer, though. You talking about being covered in tar? That was my mom's very first laptop. This came of, and it was covered in tar. It was fun cleaning it. Then this one here is out of the old Dish Net, well, Direct TV, one of the recording boxes. I got this 12-volt fan from that. I keep shit around. I mean, I got a 300 gig hard drive back here, which I may end up putting to use once I build a new computer. Nah, it gets hot down here, trust me. So I try to think of ways to keep cool when I'm outside working in the yard or something like that. And that's the best idea I've come up with, but the problem is I don't want to ruin my good hat. This is one of my good hats. Got quite a few other hats around, but never know where the hell they're at. And of course, Batman always picks on me about this. Well, I get picked on about this hat a lot. And damn that mud, fuck you, quit falling over. This thing doesn't get worn. Wow, it is really, that front is all fucked up because it doesn't get wore a lot. This is the hat that Batman calls the Aussie hat. You could actually drop the sides. Do all kinds of shit with this. Go like that. Actually, why do I need to take a... Actually, this hat here has actually got all kinds of cooling in it for Florida. Plus, it's pretty good. But I use this for yard work because I can keep the sun off me. I could actually go like this and be like, oh. I bought it, I would say about 3 Yeah, about 4 years ago I bought that hat. I've wore it at most maybe 2, 3 times. Yeah, I don't know if it actually pulled up to the fan being on the built, well, the rim of it. I mean, it would be easy to do that, but I don't know if it has enough. But the only one way to tell is to try put the hat, put it on the hat. Because I could run the wires from there up and through the hat and come out at one of these little vents that they have in here. I mean, it's a screened in vent, but I could actually knock the screen out of it and run the wire out through it. Ah, real funny. But I got all kinds of hats around here. I just don't know where they're all at. I mean, I've even got, God, talking about a hat with a bent bill. This is the way I like wearing my hats. This used to have an autograph on it, but it's been worn so much, the autograph is worn completely off the hat. I mean, you can barely see it, but it's right there. This is back when Dave Blaney used to drive the 22. I'm not bending the brim. I love it like that. I don't like straight brims. People wear them with a fucking brim look like that. I think they look like dumbasses. Dave Blaney autographed it. That's back when he drove this car. That was back, shit, back before 2008. I've had that hat around. I think it was 2007 Coke Zero 400 that I had him autograph that. Now, I'm not a real big NASCAR fan, but I do like watching it. Matter of fact, I watched this weekend's race today, the replay of it. And yes, I am multitasking and watching TV and doing my show at the same time. Ah! had changed channels. It was on Fox Sports. Kraken. All the Kraken is a Genesis atomizer. I use them things all the time, and I do build them too. I was about ready to say, ugh. Matter of fact, I rebuild a Kraken at least 2-3 times a month. My sister has a Kraken. I watch you. You're gonna get slow your roll, bro. But there's no way to turn that off here. I got a full cup of water. That's so good. Indigo. I just now noticed that my music stopped playing. Huh. No, I'll play continuous. I'll look for it after the show. Actually, all I gotta do is look up, go to Google real quick. See, I have no friends yet. Yes. Come on. You're talking about that right there. No. see, wearable vape. I gotta see a little more specs on this damn thing. Wow, it's got a DNA 40 in it? Really? I'd get rid of the DNA 40. It's no different than me going and walking around with it in my pocket. I don't like DNA, to be honest. After having when DNA 20s were popular, having one burn out on me. After that, I became a DNA non-liker. And it burned up on me 2 days after the warranty went out. I could care less about that. I mean, looking for pictures around, and I know I have a picture with my DNA in it. Oh, there it is. There's my old DNA. Yes, I've built a lot of mods over my time. Yes, I keep up on most of that. But if you look at all the mods here, most of what I have in there is yep. That was the only thing I had at the time that would hold the board and the battery. I had fun with it though. It worked good while it worked. Matter of fact, the battery that went in that is right here. One of the cells is ballooned up on it. Actually, both of them are now. I'd have to check to see what cell is still good. Actually, no, it's this one here is ballooned up. But yeah, that was the battery from inside that case. So I still have the battery around. Okay. General timestamp, I can tell you exactly what date that picture was taken. It was taken 4 years ago in May. I don't know exactly what date, but I know it was in May because that's when I first moved into this damn piece of shit camper. You using X-Star batteries. Ugh. Okay, time to go back to my old school mod. I bet you've never heard of that Genesis right there. Oh, X-Star charger. This Addy hasn't been around in a long time. It's not bad on flavor though. I've had this going on 3 years now. God, has that been a long time. Matter of fact, my Google Plus account, the picture I have when I'm in the Hangout, I close, have my camera turned off, with me going, it's the exact setup. The only difference is drip tip. The drip tip I had on it is that blue one right there. Well, I like my charger better. I know the milliamps the battery's taken. I know how good of a charge it's got. I know just from the readout, I could tell you how many milliamps I've used in the battery, how many milliamps are left. I could do a full battery test, everything. That's the charger I use to do all my battery testing. Matter of fact, I gotta retest all my batteries. That's how I've got like milliamps written on all my batteries. All my batteries have milliamps written on them. And I match them up close. I love the way you guys, especially when that thing goes off, everybody's like, you're always like, Duck! No, I'm not Mooch. But I test all my batteries. I can do amperage test on them and everything. All through that charger. Back when I bought that charger back in 2009, I paid almost $700 for it. Now you can get them for like $60. But I test all my batteries. The ones I actually am using actually have the milliamps written on them too. I'm big into testing my batteries every year to see how they are compared to what they're supposed to be. Like, these batteries here are originally 2200 milliamp. I tested them a year ago and it's about ready to test them again to see if they're still usable. They test them down to like 2.8 volts, but that's their testing. I test from down to 3 volts, and I test multiple amperages. I can test all the way up to 20 amp continuous, and I could get a readout of what the battery put out for the test, and I could get a readout what the battery took back through the test. And usually what you put out at 20 amps is different than what you put in at 1 amp. But my charger only goes down to 3 volts, so I never go below 3 volts. A couple times I've drained batteries down to like 2.6. Not on purpose, not paying attention, keep vaping, be out in the truck. A couple of about an hour from home, batteries go dead and get to take extra batteries with me, so I keep vaping. And it's usually my old laptop batteries that I drain down to low. That's probably the ones that failed on me within the last, I'd say, 4 months. I had 2 of my batteries fail. Not the 2 that I vented, but I had 2 batteries that failed on me. Not me. Because I vape more than 40 watts, so But that's the reason why I have this now, so I can take my Addy off and put this on my mod. So I got 510 to 510 extension on here. So I can put this on and test my battery voltages as I'm using my mod. And let's see, 3.83. I usually run mine down 3.7. So I test my batteries all the time. Yeah, if you ever see me holding a mod, and you see me with this in my hand, you know I just got done with battery test. See how many volts I have. Matter of fact, I'm almost out of the juice I made from this tank. So it's almost time to go back to my blueberry raspberry combo. 100% VG. I always drop mine down to like 3.7. Sometimes I get a little lower. I'm 3.6 was my lowest for today so far, and that was on the joke on my 26650. But there's a couple of times I've ran my 26650s down to like, when I first got them, I ran them down quite a few times below 3 volts, not paying attention. I'll tell you one thing. It's nice having a spare one of these around. Spare one of these around. And a spare one of these. Thinking about building another box. Yeah, I've done that quite a few times myself. But I got all the supplies to make another box. Except for the box. I may end up pulling a man, that would be a tight little squeeze. I'm wondering. Pull a somebody's name to be unknown. There's barely any room in this thing. There's no room to put that in there like I wanted it. The wires are sticking out the side, so I couldn't do it with this battery. My normal vape was anywhere between 38 to 50 watts. depending on the mod. The joke I run, this one here, I'm running 56 watts. And that's going on the ohm and the ohms and the voltage coming out to it. But when I run this bad boy, I run 200, what was it, 236 watts? Because I run that at 8.4 volts, and it's a 0.3 ohm coil. Well, 0.3 ohm. Yeah, I definitely need something to fit, well, not this battery, but the other one I'm charging. That one's, 12.6, the other one's 8.4. That's what I'm going, that's why I got the other battery, it's 8.4. By that one there, I don't want to run 12.6 fully charged. I got everything here except for something to put it in. I don't have no tins around, but I may have something to put it in when we get, well, when I get another camper and get rid of this piece of shit. The power box to this fucking run buy a couple of them batteries brand new. Roughly, actually, I'd probably get the big ass battery that they have, which is 12.6 volts, but it's 100,000 milliamp. 12.6 volts, 100,000 milliamp, and if I'm not mistaken, it's 500 amp. And put that in that thing. See, that thing would probably last me a whole fucking week. Running at the lowest I'd run on that, because it's 12.6 volts, would probably be roughly 0.4 ohms. Which would put me well over 500 watts. Depending on the manufacturer, you can get them batteries anywhere between $26 all the way up to like 130 to 200 bucks, depending on where you get them in the manufacturer. Nah, I'm gonna get up there in wattage. When I build the box I want, you're gonna see me melting some insulators on my dripper. Yep. But you can get 5,000, well, actually 4,800 milliamp batteries that are roughly 100 amp plus for like 30 bucks. You can get a charger to charge that battery for anywhere between I think it's $30 and up. Hell, when I bought this battery here, this is 5,000 milliamp, 100 amp battery. And when I bought, at the time I bought this, which was about 6 years ago, I think I paid like $45 for it. They go through a lot. You can put them through a lot of cycles. I put both of these batteries through at least, you figure I've had them for 6 years, and the first 2 years, well, yeah, the first 2 years I ran the hell out of my RC truck with them. But I know this battery here has at least 500 cycles. The other one I know has at least 800 to 900 cycles on it. They're built way better. But the thing is, you gotta pay attention. You can really hurt yourself with these batteries. Oh, Drip, thanks for coming and watching. Don't forget, the show schedule is down below while we're live. And I know, everything should be okay for the night. Thanks for watching, dude. Catch you next week. Actually, I'll catch you probably Saturday. Don't forget, we're 9 to 11 Saturdays, dude. Talk to you later, man.